Charlotte. But, oh, I don't know if anyone can hear that, but there you go, recording's in progress. So yes, I'm joined by the lovely Charlotte Cooper today for our Small Biz Spotlight. Charlotte has been taking part in our Big Nights In event, Payday Pleasures, and you've got some fabulous items up for auction for the event, haven't you?
Yep.
Absolutely. We've got a 2, 3 or 5 set Fruity Wax bundle as part of your Scentsy. Is it like one of those event frame boards? I think.
Yeah, so a selfie frame that can be customized for your event. So kind of predominantly weddings, but if you've got a different event coming up, then within reason we can brand it and personalize it to your event. They're great for obviously your pictures, etc. when people are then sharing online.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I think small businesses could really like benefit from that as well. Like if they do like launch events or things like that, it's a good way of getting people talking about them, which is what we want. We need more eyes on us to kind of get ourselves out there. And what else have we got? We've got the it's your first dance kind of, is it like a basics kind of first dance session?
Yeah, so just a basics, because not everyone wants the full lessons package, so they don't necessarily want a routine, but they want something. So that can either be done online via Zoom, because again, I get a lot of people that come to me, but they're not within my geographical boundaries. So we can do some kind of simple stuff via Zoom. So it's just to give, it also helps people give like a little bit of a taster of how I work, so that if they go, actually we could do with doing some more lessons, or we'd like to do some more lessons, they've had a bit of a taster of me, and then they're more likely to find it easier to then go, right, okay, what are the packages, kind of which one do we go for, and they know sort of what to expect because they've had that little taster with me.
Absolutely. And I think the first days, well, weddings in general, it's just very stressful, isn't it? You know, there's lots to kind of get done and sorted, and sometimes that kind of added that thing of, oh god, you know, first dance, everyone's gonna be looking at me. It can be really like daunting and scary and things like that. Have you ever kind of worked with a couple that are just like, I don't know, really, really nervous? And how do you calm down a nervous kind of couple? Or do you kind of get people that like, yeah, I'm in it to kind of do it?
I think everyone has an element of nerves, because unless they have danced before or done some sort of performing, then it is very alien to suddenly, like you say, have all of your guests are going to be looking at you for that 2 to 3 minutes. So I think everyone has an element of nerves, depending on the person, kind of depends on how high those nerves are. So I've never had anyone to the point where I'm like, why are you having these lessons? Because it doesn't seem to be helping you. It's not making you feel more confident. I think I've had a lot of people that always say that I managed to put them at ease. I don't do anything in particular to do that. That's just how I teach, that it seems to put people at ease and give them the confidence that, yeah, we can do this, and that it's not about being able to dance this amazing foxtrot or waltz or whatever it may be. It's just having that confidence to, yeah, people are watching you, but it's okay to go wrong, because they don't know the moves. So yeah, it's just kind of helping them to feel a bit more relaxed with it. So yeah, like I said, I've not had anyone that have booked and I'm like, why are you doing this? I've had people at wedding fairs where when I'm talking to them and I've looked and gone, don't do this, and they look at me a bit gone out, they're like, you're turning the sale down. I said, no, I'm saving you money, because I can tell that even by talking with you, it's not reassuring you that this is going to help. So go and spend the money on something else. That's the only time where I've had like the really nervous, where I'm just looking at them going, doesn't matter what I'm saying, this isn't helping to go, yep, we need this, where can we book?
Because they have their little tick list, isn't it? And they think all the things they've got to do, and they're like, well, I've got to do this. And it is kind of, I think you need someone like you to be like, to know, you know, the right people, like, I can really help you. Because if you get someone that's really nervous and then they don't do it, they're going to be like, oh, you know. And that's the problem, I think, a lot of the time, is that people aren't always going for the things that they really need. So they do need someone to kind of steer them in the right direction and kind of be honest.
Yeah, then it's reminding them that at the end of the day, it's still their wedding. Yes, it's traditional to have a first dance, whether that is swaying along to the music or, as is becoming more popular, having something choreographed. But ultimately, it's your wedding. And if that absolutely scares the pants off you, don't do it. just don't do it, because there's no point putting yourself under that added stress when you don't need to. You can go and spend the money on other entertainment factors, like a magic mirror that's going to give you and your guests photos to remember of the night, spending it on a DJ that's going to be there for longer, or your photographer that can be there for longer. Go and spend it on the other elements that are going to bring you the memories, and you'll be like, yes, I'm glad I've spent that money. If doing something like having dance lessons freaks you out, there's no point, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help you feel confident and show off if you want to do something a bit choreographed, but just to help you feel a little bit more relaxed in that 3 minutes that you are going to be on show. But yeah, there are the odd couple that I just look and go, it's really, I can just tell even this conversation is making you feel uncomfortable. So in the nicest sense, go and speak to someone else, because I can just, body language is obviously everything. I'm like, I can just tell this is feeling uncomfortable for you, even as we're talking about how I work. So there's no point, because you're just going to feel apprehensive every time you know I'm about to knock on your door and come for your lesson. And you're just gonna regret that money the whole time. So go and spend it on something else. But there are other people that are like, I need you. I like, to the point that they almost feel like they need me on the wedding day. They don't, because obviously I make sure that they're confident enough without me. But I've got a couple at the minute, they're doing a mashup. And because they're doing a mashup, they've started earlier than what I would normally do, even with a mashup, because they want the time and they want to perfect it, because they've seen mashups that can go really well, but
And
that can also
not so well.
that can also go not so well, and they don't want that, because this is their wedding. So we're doing lots of lessons to make sure that they can nail it. Because they're not doing the traditional father-daughter dance. They are just doing the first dance and then into everyone partying. So they know that this has got to be polished, slick, and really good. Otherwise it's going to be a bit so
to the bar.
Yeah, you do, you kind of get two ends of the spectrum. But I do think that people are starting to, dare we say it, COVID has probably had a lot to say about that. Of people are thinking of where they are spending their money for their wedding, and they are thinking about the memories of not just them but their guests. So they're spending it on what people are going to remember. So that they are starting to think more strategic with their weddings, and not going all out on some of the decor sides, so that they've got the money for the entertainment, and not being like, oh, I wish I'd done that, or I wish I'd done this, because they hadn't got the money. So there is some changes coming, and one of them being the choreographed first dances in whatever capacity that happens to be.
Yeah, I hear exactly what you say with the entertainment. I remember my own wedding, like it was so much focus on like this part will be nice. I was like, but I want to do this. Like we had games for the guests that like around us as a couple, like guessing games, or like I think there was one where we just gave them like a title and they had to guess what the story was about, type of thing. So it's just a little bit of fun and break the ice, and they had prizes and stuff. And I think it is about entertaining the guests and kind of making it memorable for them, because I still have people going, oh, I loved your wedding, it was so much fun. I'm like, yes, like that's what you want, you know, because it's going to be almost a memorable day, but you kind of want other people to remember it. Just, you know, you get that anniversary card, Ian. Obviously, you mentioned about geographically, who do you kind of cover? What area do you kind of cover, just for everyone that's in the group?
So I live in Kidderminster, so I cover Worcestershire, Warwickshire and West Midlands, so anywhere that's roughly about an hour from Kidderminster. Obviously, if you are a little bit further afield, then we can obviously look at Google Maps and do a conversation to work out kind of how much over that hour you are, because you have to appreciate I'm traveling an hour to you, an hour with you, and then an hour home. And I also have a full-time job, so timing is limited. Roughly over an hour. But now that we've got the power of Zoom, there's not to say that we can't do your lessons online. If I can't physically get to you, it has a little bit of a difference, because you haven't physically got me there, But never say never. So yeah.
Sometimes people, I suppose, would be like, it's better than not having you at all, isn't it? So, you know,
Yeah.
especially if they get that rapport with you, if they do say, like you say, that first dance basics session, which might be online, it might, you know, it's that nice kind of thing. You're like, well, actually, no, I really do want to work with her. Yes, geographically we're not close, but this is a person I feel like gets me and knows my style.
Yeah.
In terms of style then, because this is the question that I'd love to know the answer. What's the wackiest dance routine that you've ever been? I don't know, do people like ask you and say, I kind of want to do something in this style? What's like the wackiest dance number that you've done for someone's wedding?
I'd say the wackiest one is probably the one I'm currently working on.
Smash it one.
Because it goes from such a lovely kind of slowish song, and then the songs that they've got coming after, they're great songs, and it's really interesting to see how they're being blended together. Like, you've got, I don't want to give it away just in case they kind of, you know, how the algorithm works kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of my wackiest one at the minute. I've got a potential one next year where they're going to do a like 60s jive mashup in honor of their grandparents, because none of their grandparents sadly will be at their wedding, and they want to kind of reflect that in their wedding, so they're potentially going to do a 60s mashup jive type thing. So that'll be an interesting one, because depending on her dress and everything will determine kind of how much of the actual typical jive routine you can actually get in. But yeah, I'd say that the current one is probably the wackiest. Most people tend to just pick the one song that is very waltz-ish.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's kind of how I did mine. I had an idea of doing something a little bit more, and then on the day I was just like, no, we'll just wait, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think when all those nerves build up, I suppose it's almost like having like, this is your routine, and then this is what you can do if it all goes to pot and still look good. You know, there's always something you do. Just move, don't just freeze.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. So obviously, apart from the first dancer, which I know, because we haven't actually, your business is all about first dance. Your is it big dance? Big occasion dance for weddings and things. So apart from obviously the first dance, which is your speciality, what's your favourite part about a wedding? What do you?
Well, I also do the hen parties. So hen parties are always fun because you get a group of ladies together. You get to see how the group bond together. It's always interesting to see kind of, obviously they're always in my geographical area, but then you find that they don't live anywhere near it. And it's like, you've come from York down to Hereford, like that's a bit of a trek, and kind of you get to know them, like you're only with them for that one session, but you have a good laugh with them. So I think it's just being able to have that little element that you've had in someone's wedding like process, whether that is the hen party or the first dance, or in some cases both, and you've been able to add that little extra to their wedding that they wouldn't have been able to have if I didn't do it. So yeah, it's just been able to add that extra little ding on their wedding day.
Is it just kind of weddings and hen, or do you do, I don't know, have you ever had any other requests for occasions where someone wants to learn how to dance? Or
so currently it's mainly weddings because that's what I've promoted it as, but as you probably gathered from the name, I deliberately named it something that it wasn't just for weddings.
Yeah,
because obviously weddings are very seasonal, and obviously one day I want to be full-time running it. If that's only seasonal, then there's times of year where I'll be like, where's the money coming? So I deliberately named it something that wasn't wedding specific. So it is something that I'm currently in the background working on in terms of doing some kind of like corporate team building events, or just putting it out there for other parties where people want to do some sort of thing. Like I always get people that are like, oh, I wish you were around when I got married. I was like, there's always anniversaries, there's always an occasion where you can have some sort of entertainment. So yeah, it's something that's kind of being worked in the background, because it was something that I became aware of. I was going, hang on, for me to do this full time, there is a big chunk of the year where where's the money going to come from? What else can I put my hand to. So
Yeah.
yeah, the kind of the team building type stuff is definitely something that I'm kind of looking a
So
bit
that is a really good idea, actually. I can just imagine, like, on The Apprentice, when they have, your treat today, and he's going to go
Yeah.
and dance. I mean, that would be great. I think as well, like, kind of keeping with, I love the kind of anniversary kind of vibe, and kind of keeping in touch with those couples as well that you've kind of had, you've done their wedding day, and kind of been like, and kind of asking them what they want to kind of keep.
yeah.
I think nowadays as well, everyone gets married all year round, especially like when it's so much cheaper to get married out of season.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will keep ticking all over,
Yeah,
for you.
that is definitely making a difference. Certainly from the hen party side as well, because I found that hen parties used to kind of only start about March, April, and then by October it'd be like, oh, okay, hen party season's done. But now they're starting to come, like, say, all year round. Like, I've got one in Feb, a couple in March. I've got some obviously in your typical April to June, but they are starting to, like, say, filter all year round, because people are thinking of their weddings differently, or, like, say, that they're going out of season, or they're getting married abroad, but they're having all of the traditional stuff before and after. So yeah, it is kind of becoming less seasonal, but it's still by its nature going to be a seasonal business. So it's just kind of trying to forward plan for those eventualities where you go, hang on, I've got a quiet month, right? What else can I offer to keep the money in, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, if anybody needs anything, for maybe it's for a corporate day out or something that you want to do that's a bit different, then you can come and see Charlotte.
Yeah.
Make this a busy woman. What you say? So we talk about wedding, we're talking about first dances. What is the most important thing in picking a wedding song, would you say?
Listen to the words. So I had a couple, I think it was back when I first started. So it was one of my first, like, freelance contracts, and I wasn't kind of confident enough to question them on their song necessarily, because I was like, oh no, it's your song, I can't question. Their song was Wasn't Expecting That, which is actually about his wife dying of cancer.
Context is everything.
Yeah, so sometimes it's about listening to the lyrics, because love songs aren't always about love in the happy sense. Sometimes, more often than not, they're actually about heartbreak or death. So I'd always say, kind of listen to the words.
Yeah, and research, I suppose, as well. Get that deeper context. Because I mean, I didn't realise. I only just found out that Delilah. They call into a band Delilah because it's got. I was like, really? I'm like, it's just one of those, like, no. I'm like, oh, you never would have known, apart from obviously someone's done a bit more digging on what it means.
Yeah. So I'd say that, kind of do some research about the song, but also the artist, kind of what were they going through at that particular time that made them write that, because it may well be a great song and a great song to dance to, but the hidden message behind it, or the context, probably isn't what you want at your wedding. So yeah, just double check your wording, because yeah, you don't want to be dancing along to something that's actually about death on your wedding day.
No, that is a very good good hint and tip for anybody that's watching. That is, maybe thinking of getting married, or they've already kind of chosen a song and now going, oh shit, I'm supposed to go back and just have a little relook at that, just make sure. So obviously, I know you briefly talked about your dream big goal. You want to do this full time. Where do you see yourself with the business? Where do you want it to kind of go to, would you say?
So yeah, that is the big one, is to make it full time. I'm still, in a way, I'm an unknown business. So unless you know me through networking, or you're a friend of mine or whatever, you probably don't know I exist, because as probably pre-COVID, I was just starting to get the visibility there, etc. And then the inevitable happened, and I was closed for 2 years, and I found it really hard to keep that visibility up, because even when things opened, I still couldn't do my stuff, because I was going into people's homes and all the restrictions. So I very much shut for 2 years, and then had to come back. So there's an element that I'm like a new business again, because I'm trying to build that visibility and getting people to know. So it is that big thing of getting people to know who is this person that is saying she'll come to my home and teach me to dance and help me have these lovely memories for my wedding. It's like, sorry, who are you? So it's just getting more well known that people will recommend. So by doing these sort of events, so like your friend that you tagged them and said, oh, would this be good for you? And they're like, no, we're already sorted. It's like, yeah, great, but who else do you know that is also currently getting married?
Yeah.
Mention it to them. It's not going to be for everyone, but by tagging and getting me on the radar of more people, the end goal will become easier, because people will start like you say, the nature of the algorithms, it'll start popping up in different bits. But certainly by doing these sort of events, it makes people start to think, going, oh, I didn't even know that sort of thing existed. So then they start looking for it more, and when they know someone's getting married, they're like, have you thought of your first dance? Or different suppliers start going, have you thought of your first dance? They're like, yeah. They're like, there's someone that can actually help you with that. And then they kind of put in touch. It's just that visibility at the minute to then help with the long-term goal, because unless you know me, you don't actually know that I exist.
And it's not even just tagging if you are somebody that's either, that someone's getting, it's also tagging other people within the wedding industry. So if you know somebody that is a florist for weddings, or does anything to do with weddings, then tag Charlotte in things like wedding fairs, tag her in things that you're doing, so that people can see that she's part of this kind of circle. And eventually, that's the thing, it's just about making sure that you're popping up in the right places for people to see you. And, hopefully if you kind of get that with other businesses that are wedding related, you can kind of you go into that frame of helping each other out and kind of working together collaboratively and things like that. So fingers crossed, we'll get, even people go, oh no, I'm sorted. I'm like, okay, well, who else do you know? Tag somebody that you think will benefit from it, even if it is, like you say, for like the corporate, the team building, kind of getting those ideas. It's just getting those little mind worms, isn't it, into people's head. I'm like, oh, actually, that's a really good, and thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
So if anyone's got any ideas of how Charlotte can use, to do even things that maybe we haven't even thought of yet, you never know, you can really branch out and be like, oh, you'll have no time on your hands, you'll be so fully booked. That's what we want, isn't it?
That'd be the dream.
Oh, bless. So how do you get to grips then with figuring out kind of what choreography is going to like suit each couple? I mean, I suppose you might have one person that's maybe a bit more comfortable dancing, maybe one that's not. It must be really difficult to...
So that comes down to kind of, I don't necessarily do a consultation call with every couple necessarily, but certainly once they've booked and they've told me their song, I always ask them what ideas they've already got. So if they know they're wanting lessons, they've probably already had an idea of kind of what thing they do or don't want. Do they want to lift? Do they want spins? Because obviously not everyone likes spinning. So kind of I try and gauge it by them. I research and see what other people have potentially done to similar songs. Sometimes you find the exact song and you go, oh, okay, right, let's see what other people have done to this song. But I try and find similar songs. And then each lesson, so certainly the first lesson, I go with an idea of like a minute or so of routine, see how they respond to it and adapt and change. So I very much work with the couple, so it's their dance. So again, the current couple that I'm working with, we've set up a little Facebook chat because they were sending me different links. Like she was sending me links, he was sending me links. I said, should we just set up a chat and then you can just bombard this one chat with all the links, and then it's your ideas to kind of each time they're seeing something new, they drop it in. If I see something new, I drop it in. And then it's very much a collaborative process that as much as I'm coming as the dance teacher, I'm putting your ideas into place. So like I say, for their mashup, they know that some of the routines, they already know the moves because they're going to do the exact routine that's from the song. I'm just going to help them make sure that it looks good and not that, oh yeah, you're trying to copy the routine and it looks awkward. So kind of
when is that wedding? Because I'm dying to know what the songs are. So you have to let me know when the wedding is, and then you can tell me afterwards, and then let me know how long I have to wait, because I've just been rewatching Glee and obviously all the mashups, I'm like totally down for a mashup.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait till the summer, unfortunately.
Okay, I can do that. I'm very patient.
It's not that far away when you think about it.
No, I mean, we're out of January already, which is quite scary. So yeah it is weird. Obviously going on the theme that I've been watching Glee and it's all been mashups as well. Have you ever had couples for that, like accessibility, like if someone's disabled, like how do you work with couples that for that kind of thing, or I don't know, I'm just putting it out there.
Not as yet, but I do promote that I am an inclusive teacher. Those of you that know me know that I used to run a special needs dance school, so kind of inclusivity is one of my big things. Like I've got a couple, it'll be my first same-sex couple, so that'll be an interesting one of how they want to do the traditional lead, whether they want to do a traditional lead. So yeah, I offer that I'm an inclusive teacher, and like I say, because it's a collaborative process, I ask them for guidance on what works for them. Again, I think I've got another couple that she's got fibro, so it's working with that and factoring that into the choreography again. Okay, you might be having a good day when you have your lessons with me, but worst case scenario, you're having a bad day on your wedding day. That needs to be already built into your choreography. So like I say, because I do it as a very much collaborative, it's not just I'm telling you what to do, you're giving me the ideas and we work together. I get guided very much by the couple. So yeah, I think anything goes really.
Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting to see. I know that, especially from watching you, there's a lot you can do with a wheelchair and a dance. So it's watch this space.
Yeah, definitely.
What would you say is your kind of favourite song? Like if someone was to come with you with their wedding song, what's your favourite song that you could be giving? You're like, yes, this is like the mother of all wedding songs to choreograph. What would you say it is?
I suppose when I was when I first started, the mother of all songs was Perfect by Ed Sheeran, and I had about 2 couples that did that, and I was like,
okay, my wedding song as well.
Yeah, because it was so popular at that time. So kind of it varies year on year. Sometimes there's a song that you just hear it and you know it's a wedding song. Other times you more traditional, or kind of the untraditional. So I had a couple summer last year. It was a song I'd never heard of ever, not even like a glimpse of the artist or nothing. So I literally had to sit and drill it into my head, because I was like, this is a great song, but I couldn't tell you, I still couldn't tell you who the artist is. I don't know it. And my partner was like, how many more times are you going to listen to this? I was like, until it makes sense. I said, because I've never heard it and I've got to try and choreograph it to it. It's their song. I'm trying to understand kind of why it's their song, why they've picked it. So yeah, it varies couple to couple depending on what they're doing. Some pick a song that's in the charts, and others go more kind of untraditional and different. So it can really vary. There isn't any that I'm like, yes, I want to do one to this. It's they've all got their own kind of challenges and different things to work with.
What would be your wedding song though? If this is a tough question, but what, go on, you surely you've thought about which one you would, and would you choreograph it for yourself?
I have already been told that my wedding dance will be choreographed.
Okay.
Obviously by me, but yeah, I've already been told that I'm not allowed to swear, and I'm like, oh, but my wedding's my day off, please. But I suppose it'd be expected that I do a choreographed one when I promote about why to have a choreographed one. For me to not do it, it's like hypocritical much. So our song would be Perfect by Darius Rucker. So Darius Rucker is a bit of a country artist, but this song in particular, when Dan and I were kind of first together, whenever it would come on when we're in the car, I'd always have an instant smile. We've got quite a few that we could do, so there is a potential that we would end up doing a bit of a mashup, but that one in particular would definitely be there. And the other Christmas he did me a little photo thing where if you scan it, it takes you to that song on Spotify.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, so he did one of them, so I'm like, yeah, if you've done that, that's kind of definitely one of our songs. So
oh bless, I've just written that down, so I'm going to ask Alexa to play it in a bit and see what the crack is.
Yeah.
So obviously we've been talking about your wedding business. I know you do some other things, because you're such a busy lady. Obviously full-time job, wedding choreographer, well, dance choreographer for many things, not just wedding.
Yeah.
But also network marketing business. I know you're currently with Sensi, aren't you, at the moment?
Yeah. For the time being.
Yeah.
My notice is being handed in the next week or so. So yeah, it's just got a little bit hard at the minute. So yeah.
But when one door closes, another
another.
opens,
Yeah.
and you're now with Oriflame, aren't you?
Yes, which is just taking the UK by storm. It's just insane. The team environment. I wasn't looking to go to another company. I was having some challenges with Sensi, and I was ready to just give up on network marketing and go, okay, this clearly isn't for me. I just need to focus on my job and focus on the weddings and just accept that that's how I'm going to earn my money and fine, and just support people that I know are within the industry. And then Oriflame came up and I was like, do you know what?
You're a bit of me.
Yeah. And at the time they were doing a free join offer. So I was like, well, I've got nothing to lose. I'm not getting a kit. If it doesn't work, fine. But within a few days I got my first team member.
Oh wow.
And I've never had a team member. So I was like, oh, okay.
Start, isn't it?
This is a good start. All of the products are at such affordable prices. So even if you're not an ambassador, kind of, even just trying to get people to buy it for me to obviously earn the money, they're not going to have that, oh, can't afford that, because it's at such affordable prices, which at the minute is what everyone needs. And there's just so much that they have to offer. So it's not just the makeup, which my whole face was done with Oriflame. It's not just the makeup. It's not just the wellness. There's everything. There's kids. There's your everyday essentials like your shampoo and your shower gel and your soap. There's jewelry. There's perfume. That, like, you name it, we do it. And it's like, oh my God. And you look at the price. And you look at the prices going,
that can't be right.
That can't be right. That must be missing a digit, surely. And you keep looking at it, and you're like, and even getting people to sign up as a VIP customer. So they're getting extra rewards just to be a customer. Like free delivery on £45 of an order. They'll get free delivery. They'll earn themselves beauty points to get themselves some freebies. We're rewarding you to just be a customer. But we also reward the ambassadors for getting that customer and supporting that customer on their journey. And if we then, that customer loves it so much, we go, actually, do you know what? I could sell this. So we then support them to flip from a customer. And it's just like, this is insane. That everyone raves about their own company, but as you know, I have done a lot of them.
Well, you've got to think of it like, you know, you're in the wedding business. It's like dating. You've dated a lot of frogs, and now you found your Prince Charming in Oriflame.
And it is, and I say this hand on heart, there is zero pressure.
Which is exactly
zero pressure. Just do it how you want to do it. Yes, there's a system that they like you to follow, but you've got to find your, and it's just like, oh, this is a doddle. I go, Natalie, mascara is £6. You're like, yep. Where do I buy?
Oh, this is it. I've got the is it the mascara, the yellow one? I can't remember. I think it's the one, isn't it? Yeah, that's the one. And I have been an active kind of urban retreat girl, and I thought there's not going to be a mascara that's going to make me fall in love more than this one. I love this one, and I tried that one. I was like, oh damn, that's really good. And obviously it was so reasonable. I think I got it in the sale, so I think I paid like a couple of pounds for it, and I was just like, what?
But it's like me, I've always been a unique girl for my mascara because I don't do false eyelashes. I've got naturally long lashes anyway, so for me to wear false eyelashes, I literally feel like my eyes are really heavy. And I was like, there is never going to be a mascara that is going to beat the Unique 4D.
Yes, I've got the 4D.
Oh my,
it's big. I always find it clumps though. Sometimes, you know, when you get it on your, it really big, and then I'm like, oh, I've got it all over here, and I'm trying to sort it out. And actually that one it gives you that lift, and it separates them out nicely. And I'm like,
and it just feels so good. So I've never had a skincare routine until now. Like, I've just started my skin, and on my skin, I'm like, ooh, it it just all feels so good. Like, I have really, really sensitive skin. So normally makeup, I've like come home from a day out and I've normally taken my makeup off by now. I can't tell I've got it on because it just feels
Looks
so
very
natural.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much easier to promote because I just love it. And I'm like, more people need to try this. So yeah, I've kind of been a serial networker, but like I say, you have to try it for you to find your home. And honestly, Oriflame is just, there's some insane things coming, but the way that they support the ambassadors or brand partners or whatever they blooming call us, because every company calls you something different. But the fact that they also reward their customers.
Yeah.
Like I say, they want you to be our VIP to get yourself some freebies and earn points and earn exclusives and offers and things. And it's like you're rewarding the customers, not just the person that's selling it to earn the mega money. It's like,
yeah, and I'd say it's nice to have a new company that isn't extortionate, because obviously I know Spellbound came in.
around 50 years.
What's the thing? I mean, I'd never heard about it until fairly recently. So is it Swedish company?
So it's a Swedish company, but this is the thing, they've been around for 50 years. Like my mother-in-law was saying to me the other week, she went, Charlotte, what?
Under a rock? It's crazy, isn't it?
Pretty much, she's like, Charlotte, what are you doing, like selling Oriflame? I wore Oriflame at my wedding. I was like, well, you know it works. And she's like, yes, send me the catalogue. But Oriflame has been around for 50 years, but very silently. And then gradually it's just taking over because a lot of people have, for various reasons, the company they're with has either made changes or they've just fell out of love with it, and they've gone looking and gone, oh my God. And because Oriflame haven't had to do anything to push, they've just trickled away in the background. And now it's like, oh, hey, look at us. Yeah, we've been around for 50 years. And it's like, sorry, what?
Sorry, I've got a little intruder. Just come to have a cuddle before bed.
Oh.
Cuddle. This is Charlotte. Say hi.
Hi.
Go on then, you go to bed. See you later.
But yeah, so Oriflame is Swedish, so everything is natural. It's not tested on animals, it's tested on people, kind of all science-based. So all of the wellness stuff, it's all backed by science. Everything is backed by science. Like if the science doesn't tick the boxes, it doesn't come out. So that's why everything is so good. And thankfully, even though it's backed by science, they've still managed to do it at an affordable.
That's the thing. I think that's where it shows you the markup of so many other companies. But this is the thing though, you've got, I believe very much there is an audience for every different kind of network marketing. There is their audience. Like I'm a massive Tropic fan, but even like I'm a Tropic ambassador, but even I find it quite difficult sometimes. That's why I don't, obviously like yourself with Sense It, I don't promote Tropic, because I'm like, well, at the moment I can't afford it, so it's really difficult. So it's nice having companies out there that are thinking about how can we save money but still give good products, good luxurious, make them feel special kind of products. And that's, I think it's companies like that are going to do a lot better than the ones that are like high margins, we need to think about this and that and the other. It's just
and they listen to what we want. When we turn around and go, this doesn't work, they listen. So which also makes a difference if they listen to kind of what the ambassadors are going back with and make whatever changes are needed. So yeah, we'll see where Oriflame goes, but right now, oh my God, I love it.
That's fantastic. What would you say, so what is, out of everything you've tried so far, your favorite go-to product? Putting you on the spot.
I'd say probably either these mascaras or the foundation. Just because, like I say, I have really sensitive skin, so kind of foundation and mascara are the ones that I struggle the most with, because I can get quite bad eczema when I get overly stressed, which, as someone as busy as I am, doesn't take a lot. So having something that I can wear and to the point that I forget, like I rub my eye and go, oh, I've got mascara on and I've now just made myself look like a panda. It's just not.
I have to say before we kind of like come on, that we are both wearing our onesies because we're just that cool. It's a Sunday. and we're just kind of chilling. It's cold. It's like the elephant, so the elephant in the room, the onesie in the room, so to speak.
Yeah.
So for everyone that is watching, where can we find you then for your different groups? Because obviously you've got your big occasion everywhere, find you. So
everywhere. So the best bet is possibly to connect with me as a person. So just add me as a friend, and then just drop me a message and ask for whichever group you're after. So whether it might be the wedding group or the Oriflame group, kind of, yeah, just connect with me as a friend, and you'll see it everywhere because I'll be showing it all on my profile. But yeah, if you want in the specific groups, just drop me a message and I can add you in, because I'm literally everywhere: Facebook and Instagram, TikTok when I remember. Yeah, just add me, and like I say, just message me, and then I can go, right, here's the wedding group, here's the health and beauty Oriflame awesomeness group.
Signpost to the right places.
Yeah, because it's too difficult sometimes for people to remember, so it's easy just to go, right, I need this, okay, that's what you want. So yeah.
Do you have a website at all that people can find? Or
so for the weddings I do, so I have bigoccasiondance.co.uk, nice and simple. Oriflame, I've got a shop link, so just like I say, just message me and say Oriflame shop and I'll give you my link.
Yeah. If you send me the link, I can always copy and paste it into the comments or onto the YouTube channel as well, so that people find you nice and easy as well. But thank you so much for being a lovely interviewee. My first one for this year, which that's nice. And yes, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thank you anyone that's been joining us live. I think we had Shannon who joined us live early and said hello back to you. And I'm just going to start